Welcome to Outdoor Oasis Ideas. Today, the focus will be on the charm of rustic flower gardens that grace the pathways of country homes. These gardens not only enhance the beauty of the landscape, but also evoke a sense of nostalgia and warmth, drawing visitors into a peaceful retreat filled with vibrant blooms and lush greenery. Creating a rustic flower garden begins with understanding the natural landscape and how to work with it. Consider the unique characteristics of the rural setting: rolling hills, open fields, and the gentle sway of wildflowers. The objective is to blend the garden harmoniously with the surrounding environment, while maintaining a sense of wild beauty. Start by selecting a variety of flowering plants that bring color and texture throughout the seasons. Perennials such as coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, and daylilies are excellent choices, providing reliable blooms year after year. These hardy plants establish deep roots, ensuring resilience against drought and fluctuating weather conditions typical in rural areas. Pair them with vibrant annuals like zinnias and cosmos for pops of color, ensuring a lively display that changes from season to season. In designing the layout, consider creating informal groupings of plants rather than rigid rows. This organic approach allows for a more natural look, reminiscent of wildflower meadows. Mixing heights and textures creates visual interest and draws the eye through the garden. Taller plants can serve as the backdrop, while shorter varieties fill in the foreground, creating a layered effect that mimics the beauty of untamed nature. A rustic flower garden thrives on a sense of whimsy and charm. Incorporating elements like picket fences, weathered wooden gates, or stone pathways can enhance its appeal. These features not only provide structure but also invite exploration. Imagine a winding path lined with blooming flowers, leading visitors to discover hidden corners filled with delightful surprises. Consider the use of heirloom varieties and traditional favorites that hark back to simpler times. Plants like hollyhocks, sweet peas, and old-fashioned roses can infuse the garden with nostalgia. Their fragrant blooms not only create a sensory experience, but also evoke cherished memories of country life. Planting these heirlooms invites the past into the present, creating a garden that tells a story. In a rustic setting, it's essential to embrace the beauty of imperfections. Allow plants to grow freely, creating a relaxed atmosphere. Overgrown areas can be just as charming as manicured beds, showcasing nature's unrefined beauty. Consider leaving some wildflowers to flourish, as they provide habitat for pollinators and encourage biodiversity, which is vital for a healthy garden ecosystem. As the seasons change, the garden should evolve with them. Spring brings a burst of color with tulips and daffodils, while summer showcases the vibrant hues of sunflowers and dahlias. Autumn introduces warm tones with asters and ornamental grasses, creating a beautiful tapestry of color. Even winter offers opportunities for beauty, as evergreen plants provide structure and interest against a backdrop of snow. Incorporating fragrant herbs into the flower garden can enhance the sensory experience. Plants like lavender, rosemary, and thyme not only add delightful scents, but also attract pollinators and beneficial insects. These herbs can be strategically placed throughout the garden, or even used as borders, creating a fragrant pathway that delights the senses. Maintenance is key to a thriving rustic flower garden. Regular weeding, watering, and deadheading spent blooms help ensure continued growth and flowering. However, it's important to strike a balance. Allow some plants to self-seed and spread naturally, encouraging a sense of wildness. Embracing a hands-off approach in certain areas can lead to delightful surprises as new blooms emerge each season. Consider adding seating areas within the garden where visitors can pause and enjoy the surroundings. A simple wooden bench or a rustic swing can provide a perfect spot to take in the beauty of the flowers, listen to the birds, and savor the peace of the countryside. These spaces foster a connection with nature and encourage relaxation amidst the vibrant blooms. To enhance the rustic charm, decorative elements like vintage watering cans, old wheelbarrows, or repurposed garden tools can be creatively incorporated into the design. These pieces add character and tell a story, showcasing the history of the garden and its caretaker. Such elements remind us of the beauty of repurposing and celebrating the past. Attracting wildlife can be a rewarding aspect of a rustic flower garden. Consider planting a variety of bloom times to provide a consistent food source for bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds throughout the growing season. Incorporating bird baths and feeders can further enhance the garden's appeal, drawing in feathered friends and creating an animated atmosphere full of life. Incorporating native wildflowers adds an authentic touch while supporting local pollinators. The dancing blooms of butterfly weed, wild bergamot, and native asters create a living tapestry that changes with the seasons. These adaptable plants require little care once established, perfectly suited to the busy lifestyle of rural homeowners. Old-fashioned favorites like hollyhocks and foxgloves add vertical interest with their towering spires of blooms. These classic cottage garden elements create informal boundaries while drawing the eye upward. Their self-seeding nature ensures fresh displays year after year, with new plants popping up in unexpected places. The gentle sway of ornamental grasses provides movement and texture throughout the seasons. Native varieties like little blue stem and prairie dropseed offer subtle beauty from spring through winter. Their flowing forms soften hard edges while providing essential winter interest when other plants have faded. Climbing roses and flowering vines transform simple structures into romantic focal points. Training these plants along fences, arbors, or even old tree stumps creates vertical gardens that maximize space while adding charm. Heritage varieties offer exceptional fragrance and disease resistance, perfect for low-maintenance gardens. Incorporating edibles adds both beauty and function to rural cottage gardens. Herbs like sage, thyme, and lavender provide year-round structure while offering fresh flavors for the kitchen. Their subtle colors and textures blend seamlessly with flowering perennials, creating cohesive designs. The art of succession planting ensures continuous blooms throughout the growing season. Early spring bulbs give way to summer perennials, followed by late-season flowers that carry the garden into fall. This natural progression creates ever-changing displays while maintaining visual interest. Stone pathways and rustic stepping stones guide visitors through these enchanting spaces. Weather-worn materials add character while providing practical access for maintenance. These paths can be lined with creeping thyme or other low-growing plants that release fragrance when stepped upon. Creating informal borders with native shrubs provides structure and wildlife habitat. Varieties like viburnum, elderberry, and native hydrangeas offer multiple seasons of interest through flowers, berries, and fall color. Their natural forms require minimal pruning while providing essential backbone to cottage garden designs. The beauty of rural cottage gardens lies in their ability to age gracefully. Plants are allowed to spread naturally, creating informal drifts that blur boundaries between species. This relaxed approach creates harmonious tapestries that improve with time. Time adds layers of beauty to these evolving spaces. Plants spread naturally to form informal drifts, while structures develop rich patinas that only years can create. Each season brings new surprises as the garden continues its journey of growth and change. Imagine a pathway, perhaps edged with weathered stones, leading towards a farmhouse. The air is filled with the scent of honeysuckle and the gentle hum of bees. Along this path, the garden unfolds, a symphony of color and texture. Hardy perennials, the backbone of this rustic style, stand tall and proud. Coneflowers, their cheerful faces turned towards the sun, mingle with the delicate spires of foxgloves, their bell-shaped blooms swaying gently in the breeze. Black-eyed Susans, with their sunny yellow petals and dark brown centers, add a touch of rustic charm. Yarrow, with its feathery foliage and clusters of tiny flowers, provides a textural counterpoint. These aren't fragile plants. These are survivors, chosen for their resilience. They withstand the harsh realities of a rural climate, the scorching summer sun, the occasional downpour, the biting winter winds. They're the steadfast companions of the countryside, year after year, offering their beauty with minimal fuss. Native wildflowers are woven into the tapestry, adding an authentic touch. Butterfly weed, its vibrant orange blooms attracting the fluttering wings of its namesake, dances alongside wild bergamot, its fragrant lavender flowers a magnet for bees. Native asters, their late-season blooms painting the landscape in shades of purple and pink, bring a touch of autumnal magic. These plants, deeply rooted in the local ecosystem, support the local wildlife, creating a thriving habitat. Vertical elements add depth and drama. Tall hollyhocks, their stately spires reaching for the sky, create a sense of grandeur. Climbing roses, their fragrant blooms cascading over weathered fences or rustic trellises, transform ordinary structures into romantic focal points. These aren't the pristine, perfectly formed roses of a formal garden. These are the rambling, carefree roses of the countryside, their beauty untamed and utterly captivating. The gentle sway of ornamental grasses adds movement and texture. Little bluestem, its delicate foliage turning fiery shades of red and orange in the fall, complements the sturdier perennials. Prairie dropseed, its airy seed head swaying in the wind, provides a delicate counterpoint. These grasses aren't just decorative, they provide winter interest, their skeletal forms adding a touch of beauty even when the other plants have retreated. Edibles are seamlessly integrated into the design. Herbs like sage, thyme, and lavender, their silvery foliage providing year-round structure, add a culinary dimension. Their subtle colors and fragrances blend beautifully with the flowering plants, creating a harmonious blend of beauty and function. A sprig of rosemary, plucked from the garden and added to a roast chicken, adds a touch of rustic charm to the kitchen table. The garden isn't static. It's a living, breathing entity that changes with the seasons. Spring bulbs, such as tulips and daffodils, herald the arrival of warmer weather, their vibrant colors a welcome sight after a long winter. Summer brings an explosion of color, with the vibrant hues of zinnias and cosmos adding a festive touch. Autumn paints the landscape in warm tones, with the fiery foliage of ornamental grasses and the rich purple hues of asters, creating a breathtaking display. Even winter offers its own unique beauty, with the skeletal forms of the grasses and the persistent greenery of evergreens providing a touch of serenity against the snowy backdrop. Pathways, perhaps made of weathered stones or rustic stepping stones, meander through the garden, inviting exploration. These aren't straight, formal paths. They're winding, inviting routes that lead to unexpected discoveries. Creeping thyme, its fragrant leaves releasing their scent with each footstep, adds a delightful sensory experience. Informal borders, created with native shrubs like viburnum and elderberry, provide structure and habitat for wildlife. These shrubs, with their natural forms and minimal maintenance needs, are the perfect companions for the rustic garden. Their berries provide food for birds, and their flowers attract pollinators, creating a thriving ecosystem. Thank you for joining us today on Outdoor Oasis Ideas. For more inspiration on creating breathtaking outdoor spaces, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Happy gardening!